Hello, lovelies. This is 5-Minute Manifesting, and I'm your host, Lovey Brown. Today, I want to talk to you about your inner conversations. Did you know you're really always carrying on a conversation? Just most of the time, that conversation is with yourself. There is a lecture that Neville Goddard gave where he said that you are always talking to yourself. And I know that that's true for me. I'm always carrying on a conversation either with myself or with someone else inside of my imagination. So what I want you to do is to go into your imagination now, or think back maybe even to just right before you listen to this podcast. What was happening there? What was happening in your imagination? Think back over the last couple of days. Have you been talking to anyone in your imagination who wasn't you? And even if it was you, what have you been saying to yourself? So if you are a person who says something like, I'm really just looking at reality, that is true, then what you're doing and what you're likely doing over and over again inside your imagination is you're having an inner conversation about your memories. So instead of creating your current reality from what you want to have, for something you're creating in your imagination, you're creating it from your lived experience, from your memories, by reliving those memories over and over again in your imagination. But you don't have to go over something over and over again in your imagination from your memory. You can create something different with your inner conversation. Let's just practice for a second. Let's say that you're manifesting a specific person. And now you are likely thinking about that person, probably having some imaginary conversations with him or her or them. Do those conversations make you feel good or bad? We want to make sure that you're creating conversations that make you feel good, that are the types of conversations that you would want to have with that person when you're in a relationship with them in the 3D reality. Now, what I want you to do is to create an inner conversation that is exactly the way you want the conversation to go with your specific person. So, for example, let's say that you want your specific person to tell you that you're beautiful. You would relax. You would go into your inner world, your internal world, and you would call up that person in your imagination. And you can add what Neville Goddard calls the tones of reality. So maybe add that you're in a garden and you can smell the flowers. Or maybe you're in a kitchen and you can smell some food cooking. So add some sort of tone of reality to this. And then see your specific person. Look him or her or them in the eyes. They're there. And then have that person tell you that you're beautiful. So just do that now. Just think. You hear that person. Oh, you are so beautiful. I am so fortunate that I get to be with you and to know you. And you can do that with any conversation that you want to have with that person. It's really that simple. And then once you come out of that inner conversation and you move on to another person or thing, subject in your life, because we all do it, right? We're all busy, have things going on in our life. And even if we don't, we're just at home. You know, you're thinking about different subjects all of the time. And that's amazing. What you want to make sure is that you're really minding what those thoughts are, what those inner conversations are. So after you come out of this inner conversation with your specific person telling you that you're beautiful, or whatever it is that you decided that you wanted to hear, then just enjoy it and relax. And then the next time you think of your specific person, imagine that conversation. And I want you to go over and over that conversation that you created in your imagination. Go over it and over it again. That's what you're going to remember. You're not going to remember like maybe a negative memory from that person. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to remember that conversation that you created. That's your touchstone. That's what you go back to over and over again. And then, this is the thing, you remember, we're manifesting. That's going to happen in your life. You just have to wait for it, and you have to be persistent. You have to persist in your imagination, going back to that positive conversation, that conversation where your specific person told you were beautiful, or you were loved, or you were wanted, or you were handsome, or that they were sorry. Whatever it is that you want to hear from that person, that's the conversation you're going to have with them in your imagination. And then if you persist in that conversation and you don't go replay the old memories, that conversation is going to manifest in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you manifest exactly what you want.